Hey, what's up? Here's a quick comparison between BCW bags and boards and Big Fudge bags and boards. Okay, and really, I love both, and it really depends on what you're going to use them for. Okay, so this is going to be your BCW comic bag and board. This is polypropylene. So you have polypropylene and polyethylene. Polypropylene is going to be very clear. It's going to look really nice. Polyethylene is where it looks a little bit cloudy. But they're both good and pretty equal. It just depends what you're looking for. Now, if you look here, the boards between the two, they're coated on one side. So you want the comic against the coated. That's your acid-free coating. And then the back side is just regular cardboard. So they're both 24-point board. And really, they're equal between the BCW and Big Fudge. A board's a board. They've got the coating. They're the same thickness. So that's kind of a draw between the two as far as the boards go. Now the bag is where you have a big difference. And if you look here, you can see some dimpling right over here. Like a little ding. If you can see it. Yep, there you can see it right above the DC in the flap. And there's some other dings on there. So the bags are 2 mil. This is a BCW. You've got the flap. It just flaps over. You tape it, probably with probably painter's tape is really the best. But it's just not as thick. But this is your standard bag and board that you probably see in your comic shops that you find. This is the Big Fudge. If you look here, it's 3 mil, so it's a lot thicker. And it just feels like it protects it so much better. Again, it's very clear, so it looks amazing. And it just, like the comic inside, it just really pops. The flap is kind of angled a little bit, so it just folds over. So it's thicker, it gives it more protection, it looks a little nicer. But they are, as far as the price, these are going to be a little bit more premium. So as far as which way you go with, I would say both. So use your BCW bags and boards for just your regular kind of low value comics. If you buy a collection, a lot of them may be unbagged or boarded, or if you have an older collection and you need to replace them, because you need to replace every like 6 years or so, I think is what they say. And by the way, I owned a comic shop for 8 years and have been in the business since like the 80s. Okay, so been a long time. So just your standard books that really don't have like a high value, I would just use the BCW bags and boards because it's going to give it good protection. They're acid free, and they're going to do well. However, if you have more of a high value comic, like a lot of my Bronze Age, like Bronze Age X-Men collection, Avengers, especially Silver Age, I would use the Big Fudge because it just gives it that little bit extra protection to it, to protect against any like dings or anything like that you can get, and it looks nicer. The other thing too is I mentioned a comic shop, so if I was a comic shop owner, I would have all my wall books or anything that's just displayed, or if I'm doing a show where people are going through your boxes, I would do everything in the Big Fudge. It's going to be a little bit more expensive, but it's just going to look nicer, and the perceived value of it in a nicer bag and board where just everything pops, it's going to be so much better. So there you go. I like both. Totally recommend both, but it just depends on what you're going to use them for, what books that you're going to bag and board.